box. So now I'm going to show you how to install Linux Ubuntu onto virtual machine desktop. So first things first, I need to launch VMware. So on Mac, it's VMWARE Fusion, and on Linux and Windows, it is VMware Workstation Pro. That's what you will be using. I'm going to be using Fusion on Mac. Right, so that's what they call the library. There's not much in there at the moment, just 2 servers that I've been playing with. So I'm going to go to File, New. And here it's going to ask me what is my installation method. So now there's quite a bunch of cool stuff you can do here. And if you have the time, you can play around with it. For now, I'm just going to do install from a disk image because I downloaded the image. Where did I download it from? From Ubuntu.com. I went here, went to the desktop section, and I downloaded the desktop ISO. You can do it for the server as well, and you will do that in Nix. But for this exercise, we're just going to stick to the desktop. Right, so I'm just going to minimize this. And I'm going to find my ISO. So that's my desktop. Let's go to that. Norov, ISOs, Linux, yes. And there is where I saved it from when I downloaded it last week or the week before. So I'm going to drag and drop it in there. Right. That is correct. So I'm going to click continue. Now, I'm using the Linux Easy Install here. You can do a custom install, but it makes it a little bit more complicated and more things to click. So for this exercise, we're going to keep it easy. So it's going to ask me what is my local account that I want to use on Ubuntu once it's up. It's going to be Janrik. And I'm going to just go with OFS as a password. And here I can make my home folder accessible to the virtual machine. Why would I want to do that? So say I've got stuff I want to share with my VM from my local host. I can put it in there, so installation files, wallpapers, whatever, and it will then be able to read and write to that directory, or you can actually change it. I'm not going to do that now, so I'm just going to say continue. This looks good. I'm just going to click custom settings to make sure that it is using my external hard drive and not my internal hard drive to save this file to. Yes, it is. So that is fine. That is the right folder that I've set up earlier. And now it's going to launch itself. So that's the settings. We can't really play with most of them while it's booting, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to click play. And it's now going to play the application, but it's not going to have Ubuntu immediately ready. It first needs to install it. So it will then read the data from that ISO that we've just added, and it will do the setup and installation, as I will now show you. So your interface might look a little bit different in VMware Workstation because it is a little bit different, but fundamentally they're the same thing. And if you watch this, you will be very easy to you to find your way through VMware to manage setting up your own virtual machines in VMware. Right, so there we've got some action happening. But we're almost done. There, it's done checking and setting up. Well, partially. So this will be the installation screen for Ubuntu. Actually, I suspect it might have done most of the installation in the background since we chose easy install. So it's not going to bother me with, what's your name, what's your password, what group do you want to be in. It will automatically detect your time zone and location and keyboard settings and all that stuff. So you don't have to do it. And there's our first welcome screen. So welcome to Ubuntu. Fast and full of new features. It's still installing though, by the way. Okay, it's finally run through most of the setup. It's going to reboot now again. And then I think we will be done and we will have a desktop Ubuntu to work and play on. Hey, and there we go. So that's my user. If I click it, I will be able to log in. I need to put in my password. That was OFS, enter. Okay, and then I'm on my desktop. So here I can do Ubuntu single sign-on, which will sync Ubuntu settings between them. I can log into my Google account, my Nextcloud account, or my Microsoft account. I'm not going to do any of that now, so I'm going to click skip. It wants to ask me if I want to set up live patch. I'm going to say next for now. I don't want that. Yeah, I can control my privacy. I'm going to ignore that. And I'm ready to go. So under software, you will be able to install packages like this. So even Skype, Discord, Bomb Squad, OBS, what I'm using to record this video, VLC, all the good stuff. It's a fully fledged desktop. Looks like this. That's my home directory. I can open up Firefox to browse the web. We can quickly test to see if I can get to Google or not. So Firefox works. Let's go to Google. Yep, so my networking is working. It's still busy doing stuff in the background. It's a bit slower than normal. If I click here, it'll show me all the available applications that's currently available. Oops, just click it once. And from here, I can launch all the apps that I want. I can send emails. I can use Firefox and do the stuff you want to do on a desktop. So that is how easy it is, even though it took quite a while, to install Ubuntu Desktop on VMWARE Fusion. In my case, you will probably be using VMware Workstation if you're on Windows and Linux, VMware Fusions for Mac, but the principles and the steps are largely the same. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or just get stuck, talk to me on Discord. I'm there to help, and I hope you've enjoyed this video.